you're one no closer to the yes.
Yeah.
So when she said you gotta have grit, I very much was like, yeah, sure. And now it only has hit me as a truth.
I'm Maud Leger, and this is the Realtors Conspiracy podcast, where we crack the code to real estate success. Learn from top realtors, entrepreneurs, innovators on how to grow your business as we discuss real estate success stories, mindset, processes, motivations, and the key to their success. Subscribe to our podcast, Realtors Conspiracy, today. This week, we are speaking with Jana Ray from Remax Real Estate Center. Jana is a hardworking realtor that builds her business based on her why. She loves having fun and being social and gets more out of her real estate business by expanding her opportunities and growth. So let's get to my chat with Jana. Hey Jana, tell us about the key to your success.
Oh, wow. Key to success. What a loaded question. I feel like I've just been really successful because I think I pay attention. I pay attention to my clients. I try to really listen to what they need out of their real estate experience. And I always come at it from a service-based perspective rather than focus on the one single transaction. And I'll tell them this right from the beginning. It's more important to me that you're happy from start to finish, so that not only do you continue to use me for the future, but that you spread that word to your friends and family that, it's not the one deal that I focus on, it's the whole picture.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, knock on wood, that's why I'm on track to success.
Nice. Well, and how do you apply that? Do you follow up with them after the sale, or what's your process there?
Yeah, it starts from the very, very beginning. I really set that expectation. I want to hop on a call. Now we're doing them virtually, so I'll do something just like this.
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's over an hour of just listening to, where do you work? What do you see yourself living, where in terms of your job, or where your family is located, or, where extended family is. Just, hey, what is it that you need out of the property? Because it's more than just 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and a price point. It's your quality of living. So I'll book that buyer consult right away and kind of lock in what exactly they need. And then from there, customize their experience to the end. And I always check in afterwards. I usually follow up, either a phone call, text message, something like that, to say, hey, how are you guys doing with the property? And I continue to send them solds in the area, because I want them to know, especially for my first time home buyers, I want them to know that, they're building that equity, or they're reaching those goals. And so I continue to follow up well after the sale.
Nice. People appreciate that too, because they get to see, oh wow, the market's going up. I bought at the right time, right? Yeah, that's a good feel good process that
well, and especially now, because if for my buyers, the reality is that they're going to be paying over asking, which is just sort of like a starting price. It's not necessarily market value anymore. And so when I get them to come up over asking, there's this sort of gut feeling of like, ooh, did we overpay? And so to curb that, I will send them, look, this one sold higher, or look at what you've built in 6 months in terms of your equity. And I think for the majority of my business, which is the first time home buyers, they really appreciate knowing that they bought something that is building equity. That's their biggest push.
Nice. And then you're a single agent on your own. So how do you keep yourself accountable to achieve your goals and to grow your business?
Me, myself, and I feel like I'm probably the toughest critic. I'm really grateful to have a circle of other agents that I, trust, that are like-minded and can kind of help me let myself off the hook, because I hold myself to almost, really strict, high standards. And when I feel like I've failed, I'm the worst critic to myself. So I try to just actually do the opposite than hold myself accountable. I try to say, hey, you're human, you're doing a good job, your clients are happy, it's okay.
Yes. Nice. You're doing a good job. That's all it is. Remind yourself.
Yeah. There's nobody else who can reward you too. That's the thing, right? The biggest reward is, yes, you get that huge thank you and that smile of your clients, but now, especially taking away that person to person aspect, and we're not necessarily celebrating at a restaurant and cheersing or going into the home and doing a housewarming. It's sort of a little bit less personal. So I've kind of recognized, like, you also have to make sure that you're telling yourself good and positive things to keep going in this business.
Nice. And how do you keep yourself positive, like every day, or how do you get that mindset going?
Good days and bad days. No. Sometimes, yeah, you're gonna have tough days. It's an unpredictable industry, and it's a people business, so you're gonna get a wide variety of personalities. And almost always really enjoy that. I just like different people, different cultures, different families. But yeah, I think sometimes when you have those sort of bad days, it's remembering the bigger picture and the long-term goals, and the goals that I set for myself, and saying, are you on track to doing that? And just leaving that person maybe over there. They're on their path, and that has nothing to do with me. And that's how I continue to stay positive as I focus over here.
Nice. Very cool. What is most rewarding for you as a realtor?
The finish line. I think it's great when you get to, meet those new friendly faces and have the first of that initial conversation.
Yeah.
And then to get to the end goal, I mean, it's just such a high.
That's the high. That's exactly it. Like, right,
Yeah.
you're happy, everybody's in good mood. So
Yeah, an agent when I first started, I'll never forget this, said to me, get ready to be addicted to the MLS. And it just really stuck with me because I'm constantly on there now all the time. And I just love when you get to work with another agent, and the seller is happy, the buyer's happy, and the two agents are happy. I mean,
yeah.
it's a perfect scenario.
You talked about another agent. What would be the best advice you've ever had from a realtor or a partner or someone from your brokerage?
What's so funny is when I was first newly licensed, I remember being really eager and excited and almost borderline kind of naive about it. And Amy Youngren in Toronto, she runs North Group, and she spoke at a Keller Williams panel. And I'll never forget this because at the time it didn't resonate, but now it holds true. She said, in this business, you have to have grit. And I was like, I got grit. I'm super tough. And little did I know that you'd be faced with constant rejection, and it can't be something that you take personal. I think only in a sales-based position is rejection good. It just means, you're one no closer to the yes.
Yeah.
So when she said you gotta have grit, I very much was like, yeah, sure. And now it only has hit me as a truth.
Nice. How do you feel it? How do you continue that grit, or that surmounting challenges?
I think again, it's just really looking at the bigger picture, my own why. Why am I doing this? Where do I see myself going? What do I want to achieve? And so if I feel like I'm taking it, a step back, I'm having a bad day, or I've in my mind, there's something I've failed at, I kind of, take a second and say, well, wait a second, are you still on track?
Nice.
So
What would be like the your why, I guess? How do you define your why? How do you tell people what is your why?
I'm discovering that more and more as I get further into building my business. I'm finding it to be really rewarding that I have knowledge and I have expertise, and I can come at it from almost like a teaching and a coachable moment to first-time homebuyers and sellers, and people who just have questions about the market. And I said to my husband, they're listening to what I have to say. They're taking my advice and making decisions based on, the information that I'm giving them, and then they're succeeding from that. And so that biggest reward is, I told them that, and they're winning, and I did that, so that's definitely a really great feeling.
That's really cool. how do you define success, or what does success look like to you?
Um, it's funny because when I first started, I'm just setting the camera. When I first started, the success was just getting some deals.
Mm,
You know, you're new and you just needed some transactions under your belt. And for me now, it's not really the transactions anymore. It is and it isn't. In a back way, it's almost the referrals. You know, when I have a client who feels confident to tell a family member or a friend or a neighbor, hey, we trust this agent, that to me is success. You know, that they're able to say with confidence, go use this person. They're honest, they follow their business with integrity. And I'm like, okay, yes, now I'm nailing it.
nice. Yeah, that's really cool. That's a true testament when somebody gives you a referral and they trusted you, they had a good experience. Such a, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Tell us about your endeavor in investing now. You're going into launching new things. Do you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, it was always important to me, I think, to also be securing my own real estate. And I kind of wanted to try a little bit of everything, I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, since the time I've been licensed, I bought an investment property that I rented out to students. So there I became a landlord, I dealt with student rentals, and I dealt with an investment property. And then from there, I purchased pre-construction. So I dealt with a builder and how that timeline works. And now the third endeavor that my husband and I are gonna do, which we're super excited for,
Yeah.
is we want to give Airbnb a crack. We live in wine country in Beamsville, town of Lincoln, and we just noticed that a lot of people from Toronto and Milton and those sort of city markets would love to come here and experience what our little town has to offer. So, yeah, we're going to get into Airbnb.
Nice. Very cool. What are you excited about in that world? Like, what do you
Oh,
see?
meeting people for sure. I think it's just so cool that, you know, somebody's going to come and they have their own story and you're going to invite them. It's going to be an Airbnb on our personal property to start, and then
Yeah.
we might branch out to a vacation rental somewhere else in the country. But I just love the idea that they're going to come and have this experience, and I get to kind of be a part of that.
Nice. That's very cool. Very
Yeah.
congrats.
Thanks. Did you say you were doing Airbnb?
I do Airbnb too. I do my basement. I have a condo in Burlington, and it's just been like amazing. Like people,
Yeah.
hey, they come from anywhere. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's pleasure. They want a little getaway. So it's been very cool. I love it.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's not like people have bad experiences where they talk about how they trashed the place and everything. Knock
Yeah.
on wood, I've only had really good people that respected the place. So I find like that's really fun to continue because it's always a great experience. So
Yeah, I mean, we started to listen to, anytime we're in the car together, we'll listen to a podcast about somebody who's really successful in Airbnbs. And one of the things that they say is, you know, you set the expectation with the listing right off the gate, the
yeah,
price, you make it show well and nice, and that way it sort of discourages that party vibe.
yeah,
And so I feel like we've gotten a lot of information from listening to these podcasts and speaking to other local Airbnb people. I actually went on to Airbnb and messaged all these people and was like, hi, I don't want to book your property. I just want to learn. Is that cool?
nice.
And we're in such a small town that people were like, absolutely, here's my phone number. Give me a call right away. They want me to succeed at it too. It was really awesome.
Yeah,
So
very
I
cool.
think you're right. Knock on wood, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's going to be
Setting
really rewarding.
expectations. Yeah, I've learned to set more expectations. At the beginning, I was a little bit more lax, and then I don't do one
Bruce.
day only anymore because they would come like at 11 p.m. trash and then
Yeah.
pass out and then leave. So I just do 2 days minimum. So
That's what we're going to do too. Someone else gave us that piece of advice saying the one day is right. It just says, oh, we're just coming there. Because I think too, being in wine countries, we don't want people to be coming and just, you know, being half in the bag and then coming over to our house,
yeah,
technically, where
yeah,
we live. So So yeah, and it'll have a bit of privacy too. We'll make sure that they have their own space and we have our own space. And there's no neighbors around, so hopefully they can't. No one can complain.
Yes, exactly. And what's next after Airbnb? You said you had multiple things you wanted to touch on in the real estate world.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we if we feel like we're getting value from it, I think we'd like to do another vacation rental somewhere else in the country. Just seeing the average price point of out east in Nova Scotia and PEI. Maybe we'd get a house on the water there and somebody to manage it and look into, like a vacation rental spot for our family, but also for others.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, maybe Montreal. I don't know. My brain's always turning,
Nice.
which I think is great. I mean, what a blessing to have opportunities and to dream big and to see those dreams come to fruition. I mean, that's what real estate has really afforded me.
Nice. I love it. What are you excited about in your business in the next future?
I'd like to grow a little team. So I think for me right now, it's just getting to that level of, I'm lucky to have consistent business, but I need to kind of level up that in order to bring on somebody else who then I get the opportunity to grow and train and to, have on a small team. That's where I'd like to be.
Nice. Very cool. What would be your number one advice you would give to a new realtor starting up?
Oh man, I was so it's funny. I was so lucky that I had other realtors who I knew prior to them being licensed and could reach out to them. And so I think with new realtors, the one thing I would say is, don't be afraid to make connections with real estate agents, either in your office or in your community, or somebody that you see even on social media that you think you might align with.
Yeah.
There's no rule book on how to run this kind of business. And so I think you have to just find somebody who carries themselves and carries their business in the same way that you would. Yeah. So find those people and ask for help. They're not going to be annoyed or frustrated at you. There's this sort of scared thing of like, I don't want to bother. Like I get calls all the time now from new agents and they're like, I'm so sorry to bother you. And I'm like, no, call away, ask away, because I would not be here where I am if the people that, helped me said no. So I'm not going to say no to you. And, I think you're a rock star and you got what it's taken. You just got to keep going,
Nice. That's very cool. So if you were to grow a team and have another sales rep with you on the team, what would be the 3 attributes you would love this person to have?
Oh, good question. I like that question. 3 attributes that I would like them to have. I think you can train somebody the system and the formula, and even you can train them sort of sales. I think what you can't train is that ability to care, and to pay attention to their client and not themselves in the deal. Like I think I want them to be really focusing in on service, and to be personable. It's crazy that this is a people business, but there are some out there who just are not people. So I think I want somebody who, is friendly and who cares, and then who moves quickly, who picks things up quickly, and who follows that high of the MLS and gets excited and not discouraged by it.
Yeah, very cool. Those are great qualities. Like you're totally
you can't teach those, right?
No, it's personality. It's who it is.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think, I could write a LinkedIn job post today, but I wouldn't know until I meet them and really just feel it out.
True. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. Where do we find you? What's your Instagram contact info?
Yeah, so definitely follow me on social media. Instagram is definitely my main one. So it's janarae.realtor. So JANARAE.realtor. And you should be able to find me. I'm that girl who does those dancing reels. So I'm all over dancing on Instagram.
Nice. Yeah, you have some great photos. You have a great branding, great personality, right? That's what shows up on you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's called social media after all, right? So you're supposed to be social. So I try to, I think some people are like, oh, I don't want to dance. That's not how you get sales. I'm like, I don't know. I get a lot of clients from it.
Nice. Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining today.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.